Hello and welcome to Patrick Replies, the show where I, Patrick, reply to your questions and comments about the latest video, and today the video in question is the Veto Awards, the Best of 2022 video. Yes, this is a little bit late. That video came out about a month ago, but look, we've been busy over here at Patrick H. Willems HQ, so we're finally getting around to it. And anyway, let's just dive into it. Let's start with the YouTube comments to see what people had to say right up front. Let's address the elephant in the room. The main thing that there were more questions and comments about than anything else in this video. The one thing that made people lose their goddamn minds. And that was the fact that the video did not really mention or award Everything Everywhere All at Once. Why did I snub that movie that everybody loves so much? What's the deal? Some comments were getting pretty wild. I saw people developing like conspiracy theories, like why I didn't include the movie. I saw people saying that they thought it was because I was gonna later make a video about why I didn't include it. A bunch of people thinking that I left it out because it contained like vaguely similar surface elements to Night of the Coconut, and so I was like mad at it because of that. I don't know. So look, guys, here is the truth. I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once opening weekend last year, and I went to see it on a Sunday during the Oscars. Instead of watching the Oscars, I went to see that movie, and I liked it quite a bit. I thought it was really good. I believe if you go back and check, I think I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. And then, over the following months, more and more people saw that movie, and people went crazy for it. They like constantly, I was seeing all of these like big hyperbolic declarations about it being people's like favorite movie ever. I have a friend who has a tattoo based on that movie. I saw so many people saying that they hadn't felt this way watching a movie since they saw The Matrix for the first time. And it was nice to see, but I did not feel quite that strongly. I just liked it, like normally liked it. And I was starting to feel a little bit left out because I did not have a big hyperbolic reaction to it. And that's why I didn't really talk very much about the movie over the year, because I didn't feel like I loved it to the degree that everyone else did, despite liking the movie. And so when it came to making my Best of 2022 video, yeah, all I can say was I liked the movie, but it was not one of my like absolute top tier favorites of the year. That's all. There's no big conspiracy here. Maybe if I had gotten a chance to rewatch it, like closer to making the video, because it had been almost a full year, maybe just having it fresher in my mind, I might have included it. I mean, I will say it came very close to being in the top 20. It might have been my like number 21 movie of the year. So sorry. But what I do want to say, people's response to this was weird. Because I think it's really cool that a movie that is like genuinely like pretty unusual and unique became so popular and resonated with so many people and swept awards season and all of that. I think that's all cool. What I don't think is cool is so many people watching that movie and saying, well, I think this is absolutely objectively the best movie of the year, and anyone who disagrees with me is crazy, and I'm gonna get mad at them if they don't say it's the best movie of the year. Like when A.O. Scott released his top 10 list for 2022, and it wasn't on there, and people like freaked out on Twitter and were yelling at him, being like, you moron, did you not see this movie that is obviously the best movie of the year? And the Daniels were being like, guys, chill out. Like, stop yelling at people about our movie. So look, at the end of the day, all I can say is, guys, these are movies. It's art. It's all subjective. I'm sorry that I liked the movie, but not on the same level that you did. I don't know what else to say. No one acted like this about any other movie. I don't think if I left out Tar that anyone would be screaming at me about how I left that out. So I don't know what it is about this movie. It makes people crazy. So moving on. First up, Alex Rodriguez, I assume the baseball player, says, "This is better than the Oscars for the sole reason I am confident that I will not see Jimmy Kimmel." I'm assuming that you posted that comment before you watched the video, but I'm also pretty sure that Jimmy Kimmel doesn't show up in the video at all. I don't know. I am like agnostic towards Jimmy Kimmel. I have no strong feelings. I'm a better host. Let's just say that now. R4M Disc says, "I would have loved to see a category for animated films. The Oscars always snub them and would have loved to hear your opinions, just my own obvious bias as an animation student." I mean, the Oscars do have a category for Best Animated Film and Best Animated Short. I mean, the Oscars recognize animation more than I do. The thing about putting this all together was, like, I was constantly torn between, like, how many of the actual Oscar categories do I use, and then how many of my own silly made-up categories do I use? And also, I didn't want this to be over an hour long. But yeah, I should probably recognize animation. Sorry about that. Aromatic Bum says, "With every new video, I find myself more appreciative and impressed by the work you put into it." Aw, thank you. "Going back and seeing how you improved year after year is just inspiring." I'm just glad to hear that you think I have improved. I think I've improved, but like, if I wasn't improving, I'd be worried. Cole Watson says, 1. Emma is such a star. Of course she is. We all agree. 2. Was the choice not to include the Justin Long cancellation scene from Barbarian in the Best Filmmaking Scene category just a reflection of how stiff the competition was, or was it not something you considered to be strictly about the film industry, since it's kind of also about a lot of other stuff too? I mean, the thing about this is there like one specific scene about Justin Long getting canceled in Barbarian? I thought that was like just like a storyline with like multiple scenes. I will say that I think the bar scene with Justin Long in Barbarian, that is what got him the Best Supporting Performance nomination, and I guess everyone won, so he won that as well. I think that's his best scene. But the Best Filmmaking Scene, it had to like be about filmmaking, about like shooting a movie. Could have been editing a movie as well. I almost put in the Fabelmans like camping trip movie editing scene. But yeah, it had to be actually about the filmmaking process, not just the industry. So that's why it was not included. Gilga Mishna says, "I love how the Vitos are not only named after Vito Corleone from The Godfather, but are also meant to symbolically, veto the entire awards season. Great stuff." Yes, I also think that's great, because it's something that I totally intended to be a clever pun, and not something that I am hearing now for the first time. Yeah, this was always the point. I'm really clever. Go me. Moving on. Taida? Sorry. Been watching for nearly 9 years, and yet these videos never cease to amaze. Oh my god, thank you. Emma, did you just pick all the nicest comments to, like, raise my spirits and put me in a good mood? If these keep up, I might cry on camera, and no one wants that. Frost Yeel says, "What I want to know is, have you contacted any of the winners' publicists on the vanishingly low chance that they're interested in receiving their spray-painted Funko Pop award?" Shit, I should have done that. I mean, like, on IMDb Pro, you know, I can get their representatives' contact info. Oh man, is it too late to do that now? Do you think Joseph Kosinski wants to accept his Best Action Scene award? AM, I assume like the Arctic Monkeys album, says, "I feel like there was not enough love for Nope, so I greatly appreciate its inclusion." Oh, okay. I thought you were saying I didn't have enough love for Nope. Yeah, I mean, Nope is great. I will say, I mean, yeah, it should have like won more awards during award season and stuff like that. I think Nope is like a little trickier. It's definitely not like the instant guaranteed crowd pleaser that Get Out was. But like it took me 2 viewings to really click with Nope and get on its wavelength and be like, oh yes, I love this. I think it might have just like kind of confounded a lot of people on first viewing. Chocolates and Chai says, wait, did The Guardians of Ga'Hoole win an award? Finally, a little credibility to this award show. Unfortunately, I do not believe that The Guardians of Ga'Hoole won an award. I believe when Emma is accepting that award, Emma is accepting it and thanking The Guardians of Ga'Hoole for inspiring her. I think that's what happened. But still, you know, the Guardians should be mentioned in more acceptance speeches. Finn Delamata May says, I'd love to see a category in the Vitos or the Oscars for Best Trailer. There's an art to them that needs to be appreciated, but then that would probably also just go to Everything Everywhere All at Once. I will say, I think the best trailer of 2022 was actually the first trailer for Wakanda Forever, which I think is an astonishing piece of trailer editing. I think that trailer is better than the movie. It's really great. I did actually think about putting a best trailer category in there and finally decided not to. So for many years, I was really into movie trailers. I would watch every trailer, like even for, you know, obscure little like international movies that did not even get released in the US. I would watch every trailer. I was like obsessed with the art form of the trailer. And I've kind of fallen off in recent years, and especially in like the past couple years, I've been starting to wonder if I should just stop watching trailers like altogether. I just don't have the willpower to ever be like one of those people, and I do know people like this, who go to a movie theater and then during the trailers, they like cover their ears and close their eyes to like block it out. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not quite as up on trailers as I used to be. Finn Delamata May back again on the off chance that this ends up on Patrick Replies. I mean, and apparently it is. What are your thoughts or expectations or concerns on the D&D movie, Honor Among Thieves, coming out soon? Yeah, I think it comes out next week. The reviews are good. I hear it's fun. People seem to like the movie, so I'm gonna see it. That's really it. You know, it's by the guys who made Game Night. Game Night's good. It's got a good cast. Chris Pine, he's the best Chris. Hugh Grant, we all love Hugh Grant. I'm curious what like intense D&D people will think. I'm curious what Mike, who you know co-writes the narratives for the videos, is gonna think. I don't know. Well, you know, we'll see if Mike will actually go watch a movie, because Mike doesn't watch a lot of movies, but he loves D&D more than any human being I know. Mark Chald says, Patrick, please tell me you are gonna do the Vitos every year. I have never laughed so much, and I know I can always use a good laugh. We all can. Love your show. Thank you, Mark. As for the Vitos every year, I mean, I think that would be fun. Like, we've done some form of a best of the year video almost every year for the past like 5 years or so. And usually the format changes a bit each time, but I like the Vitos. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'd like to do it again next year. I mean, what if we did it as like a live show, like in New York, like that people could go to? Because we've been asked about like, are we ever gonna do a live show? I don't know. Would people come to the Vitos live next year? Our own award show? That would be fun. Mark Barlow says, dunno if you'll see this, man, but I just finished a long and acutely stressful day. I saw this pop up in my feed earlier and used your upload as a carrot to get me through this one. Please know that your opinions, your wit, and your spirit permeate your videos, and I can say I've been a fan for years. In fact, you helped me through a script analysis class last year. Thank you for what you do. Mark, thank you. These are so nice. Wow. This is really great because everyone was so upset that I left out Everything Everywhere. So this is really improving my mood. Thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying them. Ephraim Oliver says, question for Patrick Replies. Would you ever consider doing a fan meetup in New York? Yeah, I never know how to like organize these things, and also like I'm always convinced no one would show up and it would just be really humiliating. I will say, if like, you know, fans like got organized themselves and put it together, I would show up. I would come by, but yeah, it's the kind of like I just don't know even I just don't even know where to begin with like actually like putting that together. So I don't know. Help me out, people. Side question: how often do you get recognized on the street? Maybe like every like week or two. I mean, it tends to happen a lot more if I'm like going to the movies, especially at like, you know, an Alamo Drafthouse in Brooklyn. You know, places where people who watch my videos would tend to be. Scott Bayetti says, hi, Emma. I'm not Emma, I'm Patrick. I hope you're well when you read this. For Patrick Reacts, can he please tell us what are the tchotchkes on the new desk? Okay, so here's the bag of tchotchkes for the desk. This is a Batman, I think, Returns metal figurine, or this is pewter, I think. Anyway, this was mailed to me by the dreaded Adam Lance Garcia, who is not canon. Then we have our other Batman. This is a plastic Batman black and white by Darwin Cook figurine. This here is a Poochie action figure from the Super 7 Simpsons Ultimates collection that came out, well, that I ordered in 2021 and that recently shipped. We all love Poochie. And the last, and I think maybe the coolest thing, this is a cross-stitched Paddington 2 poster. So my friend Victoria has a business called Needle Pop Crafts, where she makes needlepoint patterns for famous movie posters. They're very cool. There's an Instagram account. There's also a website, needlepopcrafts.com. And for my birthday, she made me this guy. I was immediately like, when we bring back the desk, this is going on the desk. So yes, I love this. If you're into needlepoint, go check out Needle Pop Crafts. Those are the things on the desk. Blair Slavin says, Emma, please get the cookie recipe. Temp and time to cook from Patrick. I have written him twice and he doesn't write back. To complete his cookie recipe, he got distracted online about. Okay, oh wow, I feel bad about this. When we did our Christmas live stream, at one point I revealed my cookie recipe that I think is a very good cookie recipe. I've been perfecting this for over a decade. And then before I finished saying the whole recipe, I got distracted. And I didn't say how long and at what temperature to bake them for. So right here on screen, I will put the entire recipe. Here it is. So like pause it and screenshot this or whatever. Here's the recipe. Okay, sorry Blair, but now you have it. Enjoy the cookies. Moving on. Christopher Ulickney says, I totally disagree. The #1 best picture of 2022 was, without a doubt, Night of the Coconut. How it was not recognized by yet another award show is a travesty. No nomination from the Oscars, no nomination from the Golden Globes, no nomination from the Patrick H. Willems Best of 2022 awards. I hope it finally gets the recognition it deserves when the nominations come out for the Golden Coconuts later this month. So, I mean, the problem was Night of the Coconut was just not submitted for any award shows, you know? It didn't have its qualifying 1-week theatrical run that it needed to have. Also, within the universe of the show, Night of the Coconut does not exist because that really happened. But as we did reveal at the end of the season premiere, there is an in-universe Night of the Coconut movie that is coming soon, starring Matt Torpy, that we should probably follow up on in a future episode and give some more information about that. We haven't mentioned it in a while. Maybe that could win Oscars, or fake Oscars within the fictional universe. Whatever, moving on. William Crick. Was Confess Fletch actually good? I haven't seen anyone talk about it. Yes, Confess Fletch is quite good. It's really fun. I liked it a lot. If you go online and look, you'll see the reviews were very good. It's just that Confess Fletch got maybe the dumbest movie release I've seen in years. As in, the studio made a really fun comedy starring John Hamm, an actor that people know and like, from the director of Superbad, and it got good reviews. And then it went to one theater in all of New York City. I did go and see it in a theater, and then it went straight to VOD. Not streaming, but VOD. It got no promotion at all. That's absurd. Again, they made a good comedy that's funny and people like it, and they made it very hard for people to even find out the movie exists. I don't get it. It's baffling. It's so dumb because the movie should have been a hit, and I want sequels because it's good. I want to watch it again now. Yes, go watch Confess Fletch. Come on. Tyler Warden says he probably won't read this, but in case he does. Patrick, what are your thoughts on the claims of Avatar: The Way of Water being culturally appropriative and racist toward indigenous cultures? I don't know if anyone is dying for my take on the matter. I will say there is, of course, validity to these claims. James Cameron himself has talked about how there's a very fine line between cultural appropriation and then celebrating and honoring indigenous cultures and being respectful toward them. I really like the Avatar movies and also recognize that, people have very valid problems with them. I don't really know what else I can say here, and I feel like I should probably stop talking now before I start digging myself a hole. So yeah, I don't know, that's all I really have to say on the matter. There are people who have much more interesting and important perspectives on this, and I would go listen to what they say, not what I have to say. Mecha Pig says, already left a comment, but I'd like to thank you for acknowledging Tilda Swinton and Rebecca Hall. They were really great and got 0 award season love, outside of this, of course. I totally agree. I mean, I barely saw anyone talking about The Eternal Daughter. David Sims had it in his top 10 list, but yeah, I don't know how that one just got totally ignored and left out of the conversation. And then also with Rebecca Hall, I mean, I know Resurrection, it's a horror movie, so it's a genre movie. It's also weird and not for everyone. I think Pearl is pretty fun. I don't love it. I think I might prefer X, actually. All the attention that Mia Goth got, especially for her big monologue in Pearl, I think that Rebecca Hall's big monologue in Resurrection, if we're talking about women giving really long single take monologues in horror movies, I think Rebecca Hall's performance I found to be more impressive and it more affecting personally. Good movies, great performances. Madison says, okay, I'm going to complain a little that you didn't count the interval fight from Beam entering the party all the way through Rom's entrance and to the end of the first act as a whole action sequence. Yeah, I probably should have. If you did that for Top Gun, you should have done it for RRR too. The interval fight is insane. The interval fight is amazing. I mean, RRR is one of the best action movies in years. Yeah, that's a really good fight. It's tough to choose an action sequence in that movie. There are many amazing ones. Keenan Chandler says, best song, Fearless Hero, performed by Antonio Banderas. Yeah, the message I'm getting here is that I should see Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. Which, to be fair, I have heard this from many people I know. I hear the movie is quite good. I just haven't gotten around to it. So, sorry. I will watch it, I promise. Big Movie Freak, all caps, says, I actually thought Patrick and Emma's scenes were shot in different locations until Patrick walked past her in one scene. Or maybe it was. Nope, we are in the same room. It's just that, we have the main, straight on camera angle for me. And then we got a different angle for Emma. But no, Emma is literally standing like 6 feet away from the desk. So yeah, we're not actually cheating any of that. Vincent Batten says, I didn't even know about half of these movies. And I think that's my biggest gripe with movies these days. I will hear everything about movies I couldn't care less about. The movies I want to hear about, not a peep. I mean, I will say, it's very possible to hear about these movies. I think you just have to... You got to do a little bit of work. Go places on the internet or follow people on the internet that are going to help you find out about more movies, because there's a lot of good movies out there. Clearly we're not on your radar. They're out there. GT says, your desk space is looking much better. Got that Janusz Kaminski backlighting going on. I mean, I will say my personal inspiration for the lighting, the hard backlight, which we used to do in 18 and 19, and finally brought it back for this. My main inspiration is actually Robert Richardson. I think this is my pale imitation of his style. Kaminski, I see it. I like it. I love Kaminski. What can I say? Honestly, being compared to either of those guys, I take that as a huge compliment. So thank you. Andrew Bork says, I did get very excited when Patrick knew what a Tipperary accent sounded like. Yeah, Tipperary accents are fun. I have an aunt from Tipperary. I wouldn't say it's the most fun Irish accent, which might be Cork. Sorry, Cark. But Tipperary accents are fun, and you don't hear them enough. That's the thing. Most famous Irish actors are from Dublin. Kerry Condon is now diversifying Irish accents on television and in movies. Carlos Garcia says, what an amazing wasted opportunity to have the DeVito's Awards where you rank every Danny DeVito performance. Yeah, I mean, it did occur to me, mostly because a friend texted me about this, that we should have given a Lifetime Achievement Award to Danny DeVito. I mean, we've even got the Bronze Swackhammer, and he voiced Swackhammer, a character everyone loves. Maybe next year. Yeah, maybe next year we will find a way to honor Danny DeVito at the Vitos. Okay, and our final YouTube comment is from Uzi Hobo, who says, Patrick really likes writing his friends as affably dumb yes men that occasionally shares an intelligent insight that sounds like Patrick's voice. Like every dynamic is Pinky in the Brain. It really stands out with Emma because her voice doesn't really work with it. But looking at the comments here, I seem to be in the minority. So about that, I just want to say a few things. First of all, what you're describing, the affably dumb yes man, I think that really only applies to Jake, Chloe, either Chloe, not like that. Dave, definitely not like that. Matt wasn't like that. And I don't think Emma is like that either, because Emma is mostly there to have a very different Gen Z perspective and point out when I'm being silly. There's that one line about what she thinks fame is in the new video, using a lot of really big words, and I'm like, I don't think that's being affably dumb. So the other thing about that is I don't write Emma's dialogue. Pretty much all the stuff with Emma is written by Jake and Mike, and then Emma will often kind of rework lines to put them more in her voice. And so what I'm saying here, Uzi Hobo, is I don't know what you're talking about. I think you're wrong. All right, and so now over to the Discord questions. As we've established before, these come from the Ask Patrick channel on our Discord server, which is available to all members of the Patreon. It's a great place to hang out and chat about movies or whatever. Okay, up first from We Go Giant. Hey Patrick, I hope I'm not too late for the Patrick Replies on the Looney Tunes video. Sorry, but you are. But don't worry, you're still being included in the following one. Did you ever own any of that hip-hop Looney Tunes merch from the 90s? I know we all did. I actually didn't. Despite being exactly the right age for that stuff, I saw him in school all the time. As a kid, no, I loved Looney Tunes, and I did have Looney Tunes merch. I did even have a Space Jam sweatshirt in like 2nd grade. But genuinely, when I was a kid, the hip-hop Looney Tunes stuff always felt wrong to me. I was always like, why is Bugs wearing a backwards baseball cap? That doesn't fit his personality. It always just seemed wrong. I didn't get it and I didn't like it. Bugs, if he puts clothes on, it should be a tuxedo or a dress. Like, this doesn't make sense. Also, have you tried multiverses at all? I imagine it would just leave you feeling more cynical about these characters are just trademarks to be mashed together and marketed at people thing. As I've mentioned here before, I don't really play video games, basically except for like maybe 1 week a year every Christmas. So nope, I have not played multiverses. I don't think I'm missing too much. Hey Patrick, solid top 20 of the year, but what are some films that just didn't make the cut? Well, as I have already mentioned, Everything Everywhere All at Once just barely missed making the cut. The Northman, Athena, The Batman, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Turning Red, Resurrection, Glass Onion. Yeah, those were ones that all, were like in between like 21 and 30. So there you go. We Go Giant back again says, Patrick, who is the kid at the Goodfellas premiere? Is that old footage of you? Well, first of all, let me just say, I am thrilled that you think that that might even be possible and that my fake VHS effect filter worked. No, so that kid is Jake's nearly 2-year-old son, who is a great guy. I was hanging out with him a couple days ago. Yeah, we shot that in Jake's apartment right after we shot the opening scene with Emma and me on the roof, which was the roof of Jake's building. Yeah, we shot that on a green screen. De Niro is in like the legs and hand, like in a suit. That is Jake. And yeah, so not old footage of me. I hope we can find more opportunities to have flashbacks to like baby me now that we have a little kid to play me as a baby. Ro says, hi Patrick. Before becoming the Terrence Malick of YouTube we all know and love, did you ever work in a cinema? Believe it or not, no. I never worked at a movie theater. Or cinema, if you're British. I feel like I should have. I feel like that's like some rite of passage I missed out on. No, at no point like in high school or college did I ever have a job at a movie theater. I wish I had. I'm sure it would have been annoying for a lot of reasons, but it still seems like a thing, like an experience I should have had. And if you owned your own independent cinema, how often would Night of the Coconut be screening? Ooh, good question. I do feel like it would be fun to like one day, as like a side thing, like, in the way that like Tarantino has the New Beverly. It'd be cool to have like a single screen movie theater. Assuming that this happens years from now, and that by then I've made more movies. Let's say Night of the Coconut screens, I don't know, once every other month? Paris says, I watched Speed Racer for the first time and it's legit a masterpiece. Yes, it is. From the dialogue to the kaleidoscopic editing and, of course, Roger Allam. Would a Speed Racer Legacy sequel still work today if it was released? I would not want to see a Speed Racer Legacy sequel. I mean, here's the thing. If the Wachowskis announced they were doing it, which is unlikely because that movie bombed at the box office, I would be on board because I'll watch anything the Wachowskis do. But no, for me, with Speed Racer, like, I don't want these characters to age. Like, Speed lives with Mom and Pop's racer. Trixie is his girlfriend who just comes over to the house to hang out every day. I don't want to see the parents dying. I don't want to see Speed and Trixie having a kid. I think these characters are just meant to be, like, frozen in amber forever and be exactly where they are in the movie. I am against a Speed Racer Legacy sequel, and I don't think it'll ever happen anyway. Tentacle Teapot says, after I finished the awards show video, I came over to the Discord server so I could say I really appreciated that Emma's How the Grinch Stole Christmas scene in the intro actually used the same rhyming meter as Seuss's most famous works. anapestic tetrameter. And then realized what a ridiculously specific pet peeve it is that I get so heated when Seuss parodies don't do this. So instead I decided to ask, what's one of your most specific writing pet peeves? Well, first of all, thank you. I really did make an effort to get the rhyming meter correct and have like the right number of syllables in there. I did like little polishes on that scene just to get like the syllables right in each line. But as far as my pet peeves, misuse of commas frustrates me. I will say one thing that, I don't know if this is even a pet peeve, just a thing that I'm like, I think is weird that I don't really get, is reading any superhero comic books from the 60s up through, I think, even into the 80s. There are certain words and expressions that come up a lot that I have never heard anyone use in real life, but also I've never heard them in like movies or TV shows from those eras. I've only ever seen them in comic books. And they are, when people use the word blamed as an adjective, like instead of the word damned, like instead of saying, for instance, oh, it's that damned Spider-Man again, they'll say, oh, it's that blamed Spider-Man again. And I'm like, what is this word? Like why is it used all the time? And also, they use the expression self-same, like self-same, saying like, and at that self-same minute across town, Reed Richards was working on an experiment. And I'm like, I don't know, what comic book writers, what was your obsession with those words? It always, like, every time I encounter them, I was kind of like, you know, do a double take. I'm like, what's with this? I don't know. Someone explain those words to me. Last Action Harris says, Patrick, you are the best, and stumbling on your videos was honestly one of the best things that ever happened to me while on the internet. Thank you so much. Anyway, how do you balance being creative/productive while also trying to take care of yourself, deal with the general monotonies of life, and find time for friends and family? How do I balance them poorly? Like, I'm not good at balancing them. You know, people in my life will tell you. I would love to get better at it. I think I probably should. But yeah, I'm not good at it. That's all I can tell you. Dreamer Shill says, curious to know more about your relationship with Doctor Who. When and how did you get into it? Who's your favorite Doctor? What are some of your favorite episodes? Do you have any hot takes on it? Okay, me and Doctor Who. So as I've said before, I've never watched any classic Who. So I got into it my senior year of college, which was the year that season 5 premiered, the first Matt Smith, Stephen Moffat season. I caught up on the first 4 seasons in like the couple months before season 5 premiered. So then I was all caught up, and season 5 was the first season that I like watched live, like when new episodes were coming out. And then I fell off during season 11, the first Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker season. And I'm just based on the reactions from everyone I know, I'm probably not going to bother catching up on that, and I'm just going to jump in fresh with the new season with Russell T Davies coming back. So who's my favorite Doctor? I think it might be Capaldi. Even if he kind of like takes his whole first season to figure it out. Season 8, mixed bag, but then in 9, they really nail it. So I think it might be Capaldi. My favorite episode. So I think, okay, here's what I'll say about Doctor Who. Potentially hot takes incoming. So I think seasons 5 and 9 are like front to back the best seasons of New Who. So like first Matt Smith season, second Capaldi season. I think those seasons are pretty amazing. And despite the fact that, sometimes he goes off the rails, sometimes stuff doesn't work. I know he's a controversial figure, but I think Stephen Moffat is responsible for the majority of the best Doctor Who. Like, in the Davies era, he wrote all the best episodes, pretty much. And those are all, like, I love all the obvious ones. Yeah, like The Girl in the Fireplace, Blink, Silence in the Library, and The Forest of the Dead. Is that what they're called? Like, they're great. And then, you know, like once he took over, I mean, like I think the Big Bang Pandorica opens 2-part finale, and then Heaven Sent and Hellbent are the best finales they ever did. I also think that Toby Haynes, who directed a bunch of Andor, but his directing on the season 5 finale, then A Christmas Carol, which is the best Christmas special they ever did, and then the season 6 opener is the best directing the show ever had. Although Rachel Talalay is really good. Her stuff in especially like Heaven Sent is pretty amazing. There's so many good episodes that I'm forgetting about because I also haven't watched any of it in a while. Human Nature, The Family of Blood, you know, we all like that one. That one's great. I really liked Martha Jones. Was Martha Jones my favorite companion? I feel like she got kind of like a raw deal, but she was great. Anyway, now I'm just sitting here rambling about Doctor Who. You should ask my mom about this. My mom got really into Doctor Who. I think she even my mom even kept up with the Chibnall era, even if she didn't, you know, love it. I love it when my mom talks about Doctor Who. Capaldi is her favorite Doctor. Philly C says, should Bob Backish shut the heck up and let us watch a 3-hour Mission Impossible 7 cut? I mean, Bob Backish should probably shut up, but as far as the cut of Mission Impossible 7, look, I want the movie to be as long as Macquarie, Cruise, and Eddie Hamilton think it needs to be. I want them to refine that cut and get it perfect. If it's a flat 2 hours, if it's 340, I trust them completely, and I think the length will be the correct length. I want to see that movie so bad. Pinball Witch says, hey Pat, what's your favorite Pokemon? Snorlax. The Sorcerer Soso says, hello Patrick. Firstly, thank you for the Looney Tunes video. You are welcome. And for confirming my longtime suspicions about Space Jam. Never saw it, but decent soundtrack as I recall. It's true. Good soundtrack. Even if, you know, it is somewhat tainted by R. Kelly. Secondly, I have been trying to educate myself about film editing, both for appreciation and as a hobbyist. I'd love to know what film editors you hold in particular esteem, or what films are particularly good examples of the art. Keep up the stellar work. So the thing about film editing is that it's usually kind of invisible. It's not like cinematography where you can be like, oh yes, I recognize Roger Deakins or Emmanuel Lubezki or Caleb Deschanel's styles. I can see the way it's lit. All the stuff it's doing is right there on display. Editing, it's like, you shouldn't be thinking about it usually. And it's really just like, oh, if the movie was great and engaging, then that usually means that the editing was also great. I will say, Walter Murch is kind of like the most famous editor ever, and his book on editing, In the Blink of an Eye, is very good. Watch the movies that Walter Murch edited, you know, read his book, like, you know, like Apocalypse Now, he worked on that. Currently in the film industry, I do think Eddie Hamilton, who I just mentioned, edits the Mission Impossible movies. You know, he edited 5, 6, and then 7 and 8. He edited Top Gun Maverick. I think he's incredible at what he does. If I ran things, he would have won the Oscar for Top Gun. Yeah, he's really good. But I'm gonna say maybe best ever, Thelma Schoonmaker, who edits all of Martin Scorsese's movies. Also, you know, it should be pointed out, the editing of a movie, the editor works so closely with the director on that, so it's like a really collaborative process. But the stuff that Thelma Schoonmaker does, like, they make really unconventional editing choices in Scorsese movies all the time. Watch The Departed. Look at the editing in it. There's wacky stuff happening all the time. There will be continuity errors and stuff like that. There'll be like just strange cuts, freeze frames, all these things. Stuff that you don't see very often that seem unusual, and they work because she's a genius. Study the editing in like every Scorsese movie because, you know, Thelma's very good. HXR says, Who is Adam? So, first, let me just, establish this video is an unscripted, behind-the-scenes Q&A video. It is not remotely canon in the ongoing narrative, our fictional universe of the show. It has no bearing on that. So I believe this question is referring to Adam Lance Garcia. Adam Lance Garcia is a writer. He writes novels and audio dramas, and it was recently announced that he is writing a story in an official Star Wars anthology book that is coming soon. He is a producer and director at Condé Nast. He makes a lot of those videos that you see for like Vanity Fair, interviewing celebrities about their careers, doing like the lie detector tests. You know, the one where like the Pedro Pascal saying like daddy is a state of mind, like, Adam directed that video, stuff like that. Adam is also a constant thorn in my side. He is a monster. He must be stopped. He's insufferable on Twitter, and as the kids would say, very cringe. He also texts me too much, and I'm always like, Adam, you should be at work. Go to your job. Why are you constantly on your phone texting me? Chill out. Anyway, that's Adam. And most importantly, he's not canon and isn't going to be anytime soon. Gordax says, Patrick, how familiar are you with full cast audio dramas? I started listening to them because of this company, Big Finish, that produces tons of Doctor Who audio dramas. If interested, some are free on Spotify, and I found myself really enjoying the medium. Just curious to know if you have any experience with them. They're basically the continued evolution of old school radio plays before television. I am not very familiar with audio dramas. Although the aforementioned Adam did make an audio drama, and I did listen to it. And it pains me to say it was good. And also I had a brief voice cameo in the last episode. But beyond that, I know like Doctor Who audio dramas are a big thing. I've never listened to them. Dr. Turkey says, what ruins a movie for you? As far as stuff in a movie, nothing I can think of. As far as the experience goes, people on their phones in movie theaters see the screen really brightly and it's distracting. That can really ruin the experience. I really fucking hate that. I don't know, that's all I've got. 3 Nicholsons AU says, Patrick, we seem to remember you being effusive about Everything Everywhere All at Once. How come it didn't rate a mention in your awards show? Follow-up question, is it possible this is an example of the Mandela effect and you never actually expressed thoughts about the movie and we're confused by a Twitter conversation about the googly eyes? I think I addressed this all at the beginning. Nikki V 2002 says, if I recall correctly, there was a small mention for something like stunts, our funniest scenes, best animal scene. But it was not nominated in any of the big categories. Yes, let's move on. We've talked enough about that movie. A number of related home theater questions for Patrick. Okay, what is your home viewing setup right now? Any future upgrade plans? I have an OLED TV that I like a lot. It's really good. It's the best TV I've ever owned. And I have a good audio receiver. The speaker system I have hooked up to the receiver right now, it's that's the one that really needs to be upgraded. It's a surround sound system. It's a 5.1, but I don't even have the subwoofer plugged in. I think because I'm afraid I'm gonna bother my downstairs neighbors. It's just one that a friend who was moving 5 or 6 years ago just gave me. And I really should just buy a better one, but I'm lazy because it's fine. I like a good, solid movie watching setup at home, but I'm not one of those people who has like a whole room like dedicated to it. who takes it really seriously. Because I'm like, it's my living room, you know, I'm in a New York apartment. I'm not looking at this as like a substitute for a movie theater, because I just like going to the movies a lot. I'm in New York City, and so there's like a million movie theaters all over the place that are so easily accessible. So it's like, so you're asking, do I have thoughts, opinions on like LCD, OLED? No, I just got OLED because I heard this one was good. 4K, UHD, HDR, Dolby Vision. Nope. Sorry. I cannot hear the difference between them. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you played them both and pointed it out, I could. I haven't educated myself on it. So no, I'm not the kind of person who's really intense about the home theater stuff. And our final question from Shadow Earth Shaker. Patrick, do you think this July could be the best movie summer of all time, with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Haunted Mansion, and others being released in that month? I will admit, I haven't actually seen the Haunted Mansion trailer. I don't know much about it. People seem excited about it. But you know what? July sounds pretty good. I'm very excited. I'm going to go to the movies a lot. You can find me this summer spending a lot of time at the AMC Lincoln Square in that IMAX theater. Oh man, it's going to be good. If only July wasn't the most miserable month, like weather-wise, in New York City. Okay, here's a new thing that we are adding to the Patrick Replies videos. I went the other day to check the P.O. box that we have. The address for it is in the About section on the channel. It's at the bottom of the description of every video. And I hadn't checked it in a little while, and there was a lot of mail. And so I had the thought, what if I open the mail in the video? That would be fun. Yeah. Now, to be clear about what we're doing here, since no one who sent in stuff, I think, expected that I would put this in a video. I'm not gonna read like every word of letters and stuff like that. I'll give people a little bit of privacy, depending on, what it is. Let's see what people sent in. This looks like it's from Matthew. Aha, a nice official typewritten one. This is actually for an assignment in a new media class. He has a series of questions here for me. 8 questions. I will answer them now as quickly as I can. So Matthew, I hope you're watching. Okay, number 1, you often sort your videos by seasons, with the short films that precede your essays have an overarching story. What comes first, the story of the short film, or fitting your choice of films to cover serves the narrative of the shorts in some way? So the video topic and the essay always comes first. Then the narrative comes after and supports that. Number 2, how did you discover the video essay side of YouTube? It was 2016. I had a lot of free time since my channel was not doing well at the time. And I just, kind of like everyone, I just, started watching every frame of painting and then Nerd Writer sometimes, and then was like, I can make one of those. So that's basically it. 3, when writing your scripts, did you ever struggle with balancing the tone for your videos, like sounding too academic or being too informal? I don't think so. I've obviously gotten better at it over time, but right from the beginning, I wanted it to sound like a mix of like conversational, but like I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I always kind of knew what I wanted the tone to be. Do you feel like videos like yours invite your audience to form a parasocial relationship with you? Yes, that is just inevitable, especially since I am on camera. That's just how it is. I mean, it's the weird thing. It's like, my friends and family are in the videos. Like, it's weird, but like a bunch of my life is in the videos. But thankfully, there haven't really been any downsides to that. Everyone who watches the video seems pretty chill. And so the parasocial relationships have been fine, at least so far. YouTubers that do similar work to yours often make viewers aware of how the YouTube algorithm and its content ID system can make their jobs harder. Do you ever see yourself switching platforms permanently? I mean, what are the alternatives? I mean, like, obviously Nebula is great, but Nebula isn't really It's not really a substitute. It's just, it complements YouTube. And so, the algorithm and Content ID can be frustrating. I don't find them to be like major issues for me. Have you ever been contacted by a filmmaker whose work you've covered? No. It would be cool if that happened, I guess. Unless they didn't like it. I don't know. Number 7, would you consider yourself an academic or more of an entertainer or somewhere in between? I think a little bit of both. Where do you see the future of video essays going? I have no idea. Hopefully just not getting longer. Because that's what they've been doing. And they're too long, mine included. Okay, Matthew, there you go. Okay, next up. What? Oh, damn. Whoa, okay. This is interesting. This is from Robert. It is a photocopy of the poster for the 80s Supergirl movie. He's writing this from the shores of Hood Canal, which is a bit of a misnomer as it's really a saltwater fjord. This is about the baseball video. One of my favorites. Oh, this is very nice. How's Brooklyn? I got an MFA in poetry from Brooklyn College. Wow. Under the mentorship of Allen Ginsberg. Damn. Oh, cool. And we got a little three-eyed Yoda coaster. At Sacred Bones Records. These cats put out some cool movie editions, especially John Carpenter. I will check that out. Robert, thank you for the very nice letter. On some of the more interesting paper I've seen in a while. Can you hear that? Who's this from? Fulfillment Center. Great. Shit. It's glitter. Yeah, there's a lot of glitter in that envelope. What is happening? I'm trying to avoid getting glitter on me. Okay, I'm confused. So there's were these at some point googly eyes? There's big ovals. Are these zeros? There's nothing else inside it. I don't know what this is. Oh no, God. Okay, I'm putting this away. I'm getting glitter on me. Is this like a really anticlimactic glitter bomb? I don't know. Ooh, it's from Australia. Oh wow. And a letter. Good day, Patrick. Good day. 4 handwritten pages. I'm not gonna read this all here. This is from, it's from Patrick. It's from someone named Patrick. I am going to read these all thoroughly, I promise. I'm just for the video, I'm skimming it. This is all really, really nice. Okay, now along with the letter, I've posted you 5 Blu-rays of movies I think you would enjoy. These are all Australian movies. Look, I'm not an expert on Australian cinema, other than George Miller and Peter Weir. The Castle, which I'm not familiar with, but apparently it does have medium-level coarse language. Ooh, so watch out. We got, and I've actually never seen this. We have The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, with Terrence Stamp, Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce. Yes, I've never seen this one, but I have heard it's good. Ooh, I haven't actually seen this one either. Choppa, with Eric Bana. This is Eric Bana's breakout movie, and then Andrew Dominik's breakout movie as a director. I can't believe I haven't seen this one either. We have Baz Luhrmann's first movie, Strictly Ballroom. That's great. And, I'm not familiar with this one. Samson and Delilah. Well, Patrick, thank you so much for the intro to Australian cinema. 5 movies I have not seen, 2 I've never heard of. I'm excited to check these out. Thank you so much. This is so kind. And so these next 2 are both Amazon packages. I don't know if they are to be grouped together or not. Based on the feel, they seem like movies, probably. One of Emma's favorites, The Drop, starring Tom Hardy. No letter included. Okay, yeah, these are connected. These are definitely connected. Again, no name on these. I don't know who these are from. So, Locke. We have Locke. As we all know, I have seen Locke. Locke is really good. Locke, of course, Emma's favorite movie. Tom Hardy, alone in a car, talking on the phone for 84 minutes. So these two, you know, fit together. Are these Emma's two favorite Tom Hardy movies? I think maybe. But then Room 237 is here. The documentary about fans of The Shining, which I saw opening night at the IFC Center in like 2012, I think. The directors were there doing a Q&A after. A good movie, but what is the connection between Tom Hardy movies and Room 237? I don't know. Thank you, whoever sent these. Hey, I guess now I have no excuse. I will make Emma happy and finally watch The Drop. So there we go. That is the mail for this episode. I guess if people send stuff in, I might as well open it in future episodes. That was fun. It is like 10 o'clock at night, and I have not eaten dinner yet. Remember the part when I answered that one question that was about like, how do you balance like taking care of yourself with being productive? See, this is me doing a bad job balancing those things and not taking care of myself. That does it for the video. If you didn't see the announcement on Discord, for these videos, starting with the next one, there will be fewer Discord questions in the Patrick Replies videos. We'll only cover the questions from Discord that pertain to the video in question that we are discussing. I will answer all the other miscellaneous questions just in text on Discord. And also, I still don't know why my voice is so deep. This is weird. I mean, I wish I sounded like this all the time. This sounds cool. Yeah. Listen to my voice. Hello, I'm Patrick Willems. You've been watching Patrick Replies. Be sure to subscribe. We have new Patreon goals out that sound cool. If we hit 1,700 patrons, then I will commission a Muppet Patrick for the Muppet video. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. That's the end of the video. Bye.